Guys, what is going on? I have decided to add to my additional videos that we shoot every month a live version as well. So I'm going to be hopping on YouTube live here every week to talk about what's going on in Northern Virginia real estate and also some area news and see what is going on with the market. So I'm really excited about getting into these videos. If you jump into the chat or jump in on the live, definitely comment. Tell me where you guys are from and what type of content you are looking for. Like I said, the market here definitely slowed down a little bit. We're seeing some changes, but I am going to be getting into that. So one of the things I wanted to talk about was Forbes recently came out with an article. And one of the things, obviously, that everyone's been asking me about lately is the market. What's going on with the market here, particularly in Northern Virginia? What's going on with all the rate changes and pretty much everything we are seeing? So, in the Forbes article, they go on to say the national average 30-year mortgage rose to 7.49%, which is just, obviously insane. And given the current rate conditions, no wonder year-over-year home existing sales have sagged for a third consecutive month, with all four major U.S. regions posting declines. And so they go on to say that housing market activity remains weak despite rising market rates, elevated home prices, and constrained housing inventory. So here's kind of what we see going on, especially in Northern Virginia and our market in particular, is like, let's talk about me, for example, right? Like I have a 3% interest rate on my house that I'm in right now. And more than likely, I'm not going to sell because I'm not going to want to sell to get into a house that is on a 7.5% interest rate. So a lot of people right now are staying firm. They are not going to be moving. But one of the other things that this extra cost of the rising rates has caused is the average, first time home buyer is now 36 years old, where before they were in their 20s and different things were going on. So all kinds of changes coming here. So let's talk about what's going on with our local market here. And so the way that MLS breaks this down is they have it for some reason. Don't ask me why. Well, let me just tell you what they say. They say compared to a year ago, prices remain elevated, increasing in all metro areas and Mid-Atlantic. Part of the reason prices have been cooled is limited supply across the region. However, a few areas have more active listings at the end of September than they had last year. So they go on and mention Pennsylvania, Eastern Shore of Maryland, and then parts of, it looks like, Delaware. But then they say all regions had fewer new listings than a year ago, with Washington, D.C. Metro and North Central Virginia having about a third less than they did in September. So that's actually our market here, right? Like Washington, D.C. and Northern Virginia have a lot less houses coming on the market. So what exactly does that look like? So Central VA, that's going to be like Northern Virginia, that's going to be parts of like Prince William, Fauquier, Loudoun, different areas. I don't know why they kind of lump Fairfax into DC, but anyways, they say the median sales price is $455,000. Now keep in mind this kind of goes out to some of these suburbs as well, but they mention that the prices are actually up 3.4%. So you look at some areas like in Austin, Texas, or maybe like parts of Florida or San Diego or Chicago, the prices have actually gone down. And then I'm going to show you guys some really staggering stats. But the median sale price in North Central Virginia is still up 3.4%. But look at that. New listings are down 33%. Active listings are down 18%. But one thing I want to look at right here is month supply is actually up 13%, but it's only 1.64. So when I see that get to about a 4 or 5 month supply, that means the market has officially shifted, but we are nowhere near there yet. And the showings are down 25%, which makes total sense, right? Because there's less houses on the market. Now let's check out Washington, D.C., where the median sales price is $550,000, and it's still up 3.4%. The median days on market is actually down. So houses in the D.C. area are actually selling faster than they were last year, but new pending sales are down 13%, new listings down 32%, active listings down 18%. Weird thing though, month supply is up 13%, and then showings are down 17%. So you can see there's a lot of changes going on in DC, but the market here is still really hot. And let's take a look at some of the other parts of Northern Virginia, some areas that we really saw a lot in. So one of the more hotter markets is definitely going to be, thanks, Marissa. I appreciate you jumping on. One of the more hotter markets is going to be Prince William County. I don't know what's going on, but Prince William is still a really good market. But one thing, look at this, there's 40% less new listings than there were last year. So like I said, if you have a 3 or 4% interest rate, more than likely you're not going to be listing your home for sale anytime soon. So we're going to see this super tight inventory. From what I'm hearing at people at Goldman Sachs, they actually don't expect that to change until the rates get around somewhere around 5.5%, which could be another year, 2 or 3 years. But new pendings are down 20%. Closed sales are down 30%. So there's actually a third less houses to sell. And one thing I've noticed is a ton of realtors have gotten out of the business, obviously, because there's a third less houses to sell. Medium sales price in Prince William County, check this out though, is up 8.4% to 540,000, up from 498,000. And then active listings is almost at the 5-year low. So it's 446 active listings, but there's usually 383. Yeah, appreciate you, Ryan. So the average days on market in Prince William County is 15 days. And then, but the one thing that's really crazy is the average house gets 100% of list price. So if you're like wanting to go into Prince William and kind of lowball, you really can't at the moment. So people are pretty much getting what they want. Now, I do suspect if the rates hit 8%, that could change a little bit. Fauquier County, I'll kind of just go through a little bit. New listings are down 11%. New pendings are up 10%. Closed sales are down 24%. But look at this. Their medium sales price is up 10%. So in Fauquier County, their prices are still up 10%, which really amazes me. And you get over there, they're kind of a little bit, they're creeping up on their active listings. They got 171. Their 5-year average is 204. But look at this, 402 active listings was their 5-year average. So that's probably more of a normal market before we hit the COVID area. And I see a lot of people are checking in, definitely let me know where you guys are located. And if you want some information like on your town or city or what you want to see on the channel, would love to get your comments. Got a bunch of people jumping on. Fauquier, though, look at that. The average house is taking about a month to sell, and then houses are getting 98.3%. So houses in Fauquier are actually not going for 100% like Prince William. So a little bit further out there, which kind of makes sense. But houses in Fauquier, so if you're a buyer, you can get a little bit of a deal. You can get a rate buy down. For instance, we just had a buyer that got a rate buy down. Jakir, what's up, man? In Woodbridge, and I'll definitely pull up Woodbridge for you, man, and show you some stats. But in Fairfax, really quick, we got Ryan who's in Fairfax. So right now, man, Fairfax is a really good market. New listings are down 36%. Sales are down 14%. And then closed sales are down 20%. Now, a lot of people freak out when they see that. But why is that going on? There's 36% less listings on the market, which means there's less houses to sell. And then, which means there's going to be less pending. There's going to be less closed sales. But the average or the medium sales price in Fairfax is up 3.2% to $650,000. But look at this. Fairfax is at a 5-year low on active listings. So last month was the least amount of listings they have had in the last 5 years. So think about that. 5 years ago, or whenever this number was, 2,085, that was the max. So they were almost double where they're at now. And then they're at their lowest 14 days on the market. And then people are getting 100.2% of asking price. So Fairfax, honestly, could be one of the hottest housing markets in all of Virginia or the United States. That's going to be Fairfax County. So let's just check out Woodbridge really quick. I know you said you're watching from there. So one thing I like to look at in Woodbridge or any of these other areas is kind of like what's going on, like, you know, what are the average prices? And keep in mind, Woodbridge is a pretty varied market because you got condos, which take a little bit longer. Then you got $1 million properties, but Woodbridge is really doing well. So new listings are down 31%, new pendings are down 11%, and then closed sales are down 33%. And then the medium sales price in Woodbridge is actually up 7%. So again, when you're seeing like from the media, the market's crashing, all these things are happening. Obviously, it's kind of not happening around here. I will tell you, my team, we've noticed calls kind of slow down the last couple of weeks, but makes sense. It's the fall. The rates have hit, 7.5. Active listings are almost at a 5-year low, 167. Average days on market, 14. And then houses are getting 100.5% of ask. So, man, being in Woodbridge, Woodbridge right now is a really solid market. There's just not a lot of things for sale. you can see there's just not much. So, if you have a house in Woodbridge, you're doing pretty good right now. And look, you can see where, you go through here, you can kind of see the COVID dip a little bit. But last year we saw this little bit of a dip. That's when the rates really skyrocketed. Look how much the last year or so the prices have continually went up still in Woodbridge. So their medium sales price continues to go up. Let's check out some other areas really quick. So Fairfax, like I said, is hot. Loudoun is obviously and always a hot market. They're down 30% new listings. So a lot less houses on the market to choose from. And then new pendings are down 15%. Closed sales are down 24%. So you pretty much take away a quarter of all sales that you could have. But then their medium sales price is up 7.6%, which still to me, a normal market, you're talking 3%. So their prices are still rising. And then their active listings, they're 502 at a 5-year low. And then average days on market is 17. Now, during like the peak of COVID, when there was 3% interest rates, you were seeing, 3 or 4 or 5 days. So things are sitting a little bit longer. But people in Loudoun are getting 100% of asking price. So not really bad there. Checking out Alexandria, down 28%, but their new pendings are up 11%. Closed sales are up 5.4%. But look at this. This is insane. There must be like some new construction in there that's a lot of money because their medium sales price is up 22%. So if you have a place in Alexandria, you're doing pretty good. But, we have a listing in Alexandria that's having a little bit of a struggle right now. We're getting a ton of calls on it, but that's a really varied market. But you know what? It looks like it's a pretty hot market right now. But look, active listings are at 203. So this is in the city of Alexandria. So they're at a 5-year low. And then average days on market is 21. So things are taking a little bit longer to sell. And then houses are selling for 99.4% of asking price. And then Arlington's a really weird market. A lot of high-rise condos, a lot of expensive condo dues, but it's obviously very popular. New listings are down 38%, new pending 17%, and then closed sales are down 17%. But check this out. Prices are up year over year. The medium sales price, 25%. So Arlington, definitely hopping right now. And then active listings, 334, average days on market, 24. And then people are getting 98% of ask price. What's up, Chris? So let's check out Frederick County. So one other thing I can do on here is, you're looking Front Royal, Linden, all those areas. So let's see what's kind of going on in each area of Frederick County, Virginia. So Front Royal, their prices have been even year over year. And then Stevens City is 14%. Actually, Frederick County, that's going to be, hey, Bob, I don't really think that's accurate. It's about, Google says Stafford to DC is only 30 minutes away. Is that accurate? Technically, yes. With no traffic on 95, it's about a 30 to 45 minute drive. We did a really good video on Stafford where we kind of broke that down. Now they do have some brand new hot lanes that are in the middle of 95, but yeah, if you're driving at night, it should only take you about 30 to 45 minutes, but with traffic, it can be a little bit brutal. But Stafford, they do have those new hot lanes. And if you want, you can always email me info@colganteam.com. We'd love to help you if you're looking in Stafford, but it's not that bad. But again, you know what? If you're going in from 9 to 5, then I would tell you, yeah, you definitely want to, check out more than 30 minutes. So, and then Frederick, Winchester area, the prices are down. So honestly, so it looks like Frederick County is not doing as well. Winchester, you're right, Chris, my bad. So, Frederick County, it looks like, I did a video on Winchester not too long ago. It got named the #1 place to retire, like one of the top 10 places to retire in the United States. And the average price down there is actually below the medium sales price of like 400 United States. It's like 350. So it's a really good market. But right now there's just a very, you know how Winchester is. There's a $200,000 townhouse and then $1 million house like in the downtown area of Winchester. But Winchester's getting a little bit slower right now for sure. Was there any other areas you guys wanted me to check out for you? But, at the end of the day, too, by the way, I'm kind of doing that is, if rates hit 8%, then it's like, we can connect you with the lender. they can kind of show you some different programs. A lender that we work with, he just got one of my buyers. He's got a job at Amazon, and next year he has to go in 5 days a week. And we got him a rate buy down, so we were able to get him $10,000 in closing cost assistance from the seller. So then that got his rate down from a 7, and he got a 6.9, but he's going to have a 5 this year when he closes for a year, and then he gets into 6 the next year, and then he goes into a 7, or the 6.9. But hopefully by the time next year comes, or the 2 years, they're not going to be in the 7s anymore. I was just at a conference, and Goldman Sachs predicts within about a year or so, there'll be the average will be about like 6 to 5.75. So obviously you can always refi later. Yeah, Peter. So let's check out Haymarket. Really good area, obviously. I actually just had someone call me from YouTube today. One of my viewers said they were looking in Tyson's Corner, decided to do a 180, and now they want to come out to Haymarket. And I was like, you'll actually be pretty close to me. So when I look in here in Haymarket, let's just check out the actual area in general. And let me actually pull this screen up for you guys so you can see it as well. So let's pull it up. Haymarket's been a really hot area, probably one of the more better markets around here. And it is also getting super expensive. But yeah, new listings, they're down 13%. New pendings are up 34%. And then the medium sales price is up 4.6% to 648,000. Look at that. There's only 43 listings for sale right now in Haymarket, which is the 5-year low. So there is literally nothing for sale in Haymarket. I know there's some brand new. Hey, what's up, Kathy? I'll definitely check out Falls Church. I know there's some brand new, townhouses in there. There's a 55 plus community that's brand new. That kind of skews some of the numbers as well and makes there be more listings than there really is. But it's at a 5-year low, and then the average days on market is almost at a 5-year low for September. But then houses, people are going for 99.7% of asking price. So people are negotiating a little bit in Haymarket. You're not seeing like multiple offers. But yeah, let's check out Falls Church. Peter, who you see on there, we just did a video on Falls Church. We went through there. So what's better to search? Falls Church City. Let's see here. Falls Church, which actually got named the richest place in the United States. I just want to make sure I didn't check the wrong thing here. So Falls Church, again, is a weird market. A lot of condos, and then you have like the lake and all that. So let's check out Falls Church City. New listings are down 30%. New pendings are even. Closed sales are even. This is a pretty tiny market here. The median sales price is down 10%. Now, again, this is a pretty small market, it looks like. Let's check out where they have like Falls. There, it says it's down 24%. I don't really think that makes sense. I'm thinking just because there's not a lot of sales in there. So either that or there was some big, huge, like new multi-million-dollar properties that were selling and they didn't sell. So their average looks a little wacky. So I definitely don't believe it went from 750. So you can see in June, July, it was around 750, 750, and then the 550. There was just a little bit less sales. So I don't believe the prices went down that much. So, but right now they're at their 5-year low, only 136 active listings, and then 14 days on the market, and then houses are getting 99.9%. Let's look at this a little bit more detail though, because now it's got me curious. Let's see if there's a spot in there that maybe mess things up. Peter, what's a good zip code in Falls Church to check out? Let's do this Falls Church. Yeah, it looks like they don't really have it broken down good, but my guess would be there was some sales that just like didn't really, there was some like big sales. You'll see that in Arlington, but Falls Church is a really hot market still right now. But one other big story that I wanted to talk about was, and I did a reel on this on my Instagram at Chris Colgan team. One Loudoun is there's an Washington Business Journal said that they actually put in some early permits to double the size of One Loudoun. So they're talking about adding 5 new buildings, 1,900 housing units, an ice skating rink, a new parking garage, a retail pavilion with a central plaza, almost like Reston Town Center. So that is like one huge thing that I think that's be coming in. And that kind of gives me a little bit of like hope in the sense that the developers think that the market's going to be hot around here. That they don't think there's going to be a lot of changes. They're willing to go ahead, and that's going to be a really expensive, project. But I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. You think that's going to be a good thing for Ashburn or not? But I can imagine it's going to be pretty expensive to buy a house over there whenever that's done. So let's check that out. 22042. Part of Falls Church. Let's get it out. Is that like one of the bigger zip codes in there? Because I know Falls Church has like a ton of them. So right in there, it's looking like 31 new listings down. Yes, it's not a lot of stuff going on. They're down 40%, 35%, 20 new pendings. Closed sales are down 3%. And then the medium sales price is down 5.8%. So, yeah, but they're at a 5-year low. Houses are still selling for a lot. So it looks like a lot of what you're seeing, of course, is when you start to get up to 7 to 8% interest rates, my average sales price, I would say like 2 years ago was 800,000. Right now it's around like 600,000. So when you start to get rates up that high, a lot of these high end houses are just not, they're going to be sitting a lot longer. Like a lot of like luxury only agents are struggling right now because there's just not too many people walking around, buying $1.5 million. Like I did a house in Haymarket 2 years ago, and the guy did a VA loan, which was no money down at 1.5 million. That's easy to do, not easy to do, my God, but that's hard to do at 3.5% interest rate. But imagine doing it at 7.5% interest rate. I've seen a bunch of other people have jumped on. So what we're doing right now, we're just talking about the local market here in Northern Virginia. And according to the MLS, we got like record low inventory and medium sales prices pretty much around the area are up. Dan, what's up, brother? What county is most affordable in Nova? That's a good question. Probably Prince William County if you were like going to look at true Nova. If I was looking for like a good deal, but or like a better like price point, I would probably do Stafford. You're going to get like a bigger single family. It's going to be off 95, which will cause a little bit of traffic. But I would say Manassas is really pretty affordable. Now, of course, affordable around here is now 500,000. But Prince William, then if you were going to look further out, I would check out like a Front Royal or a Lendon, or maybe even Winchester. But it all really depends on like what your drive time you're looking for and all that. Like what area do you work in, Dan? And you can kind of see, I just want to show you guys something. One thing I like to look at is look at this medium days on the market. So this was like one thing I really know just being in the market real estate for 20 years is this is what more of a normal market, right? So back in 2018, 2019, we were 40 days, 40 days. And then look what happened when the Fed dropped the rates. And it went to under 10 for about 2 years. And then we had this huge spike over the winter when the rates hit 6 and everybody had sticker shock. And then in March, the rates did dip down to 5 and everyone's gotten used to it. But now you can see as they've raised the rates even more a little bit, now it's starting to go up a little again. So medium days on markets, that's something that I really look for when I'm watching real estate data. Now, I do suspect if rates hit 8%, which they very well may, you're going to start to see some days on market go longer. But the thing is, we just don't have a lot of inventory. So there's not much for people to choose from. So if you really do want to buy, there's not much. You're going to have to get in a good program, which we can definitely help you with. But just keep that in mind. That's why we're not seeing, some kind of crazy market downturn. Now, I was in the market in 05 to 08 when the market crashed. Back then, you could get a crazy loan. We haven't had that here in the last several years. Last 10 years, they just haven't done that. It's been hard to get a loan. So I don't think you're going to see any defaults. I mean, a lot of people hit me up and say, hey, can you send me some foreclosures? I think at one point there was like maybe 2 foreclosures for sale in all of Northern Virginia. So there's just not a lot of foreclosures going on. There's not a lot of short sales. Most of the people that I see moving right now are going to be life events like a death in the family, divorce, job change. Like, 2 of my recent buyers were working from home and now Amazon's requiring that they go into Arlington. And then I've actually had 2 YouTube viewers call me from the state of Washington saying that the Amazon told them they could choose between the Kirkland, I believe, or the Seattle office or Arlington. Well, then they were telling me the average sales price where it's at in Washington State is 2.2 million, and they were looking at Herndon here, which is 700,000, and they're going to make the same amount of money. So they're like, we're just going to move to Virginia. Like, we're not going to buy a house in Seattle for $2 million. And I know the traffic in Seattle is brutal as well. But let me know if you guys have any other questions. Let me know also in the comments what type of content you guys want to see, any other locations. I'd love to get your guys' feedback. As always, our Instagram, really, I post a lot on there as well at Chris Colgan Team. I think I've had like 2 million people in the last 2 weeks watch that Instagram. But I definitely appreciate you guys watching this. Like I said, email me anytime, info@colganteam.com. You can, of course, text me anytime, 571-437-7575. And I'll keep doing these every week. And we can jump on, talk about the market, talk about loans, any type of questions you guys have. As always, I appreciate you guys. I will see you at the top or from the top of Northern Virginia.